Okay, here we are, coaching call number 9 for Niche Site Project 3. Samara, how you doing? You surviving?
I am surviving, just barely, but I'm surviving. Thanks, Spencer. How are
Yeah,
you?
I'm doing pretty good. I ask because I know you've been putting a ton of work into your website and sort of wrestling with WordPress lately, right?
I have been wrestling with WordPress. It's been difficult, challenging, but it's all part of the process. It's obviously, if it were super easy, everyone would do it, right? Um,
Exactly. Yep.
it's, but it's learning a lot and slow and steady. It's my strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think everybody goes through that. I remember so many late nights where I was sort of wrestling with WordPress, if you will. Everybody goes through it, but the good thing is usually once you sort of set up your website once, it becomes much easier to make any minor tweaks down the road. So you're putting in a lot of work now that you won't have to do in the future. And you're going to learn a lot of skills right now that it just becomes second nature once you do your second or third site.
Excellent. I like the sound of that. Okay, sounds
Yeah.
good.
So, no, I'm seeing a ton of progress. But coaching call number 9 is all about basic link building strategies for your niche website. And I did call this basic link building strategies because there really are a ton of really advanced link building strategies that perhaps we'll do another call on. But for now, I just kind of want to get some of the basic strategies out the door and get you moving in that direction, okay?
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
So, project overview. Um, Let me get on the right screen here. Here's kind of where we've come from. We review this slide every single time we do it, right?
Yep.
The last one was, if I'm not mistaken, monetization strategies, right?
Yep.
That we talked about. This one, I've sort of deviated slightly from calling call 9 outreach, PR, linkable assets, and number 10 social media strategies. This is sort of a morph of these two, calling basic link building strategies. Okay. But then we're kind of getting close to the long-term strategies at the end, right after link building. um, we talk about list building in more depth, and then maybe paid traffic strategies if we ever get there. And to be honest, tons of niche websites never even get there. So we're kind of getting through the meat of almost everything. And then after that, it's sort of refining skills, learning a little bit more, but staying true to the basic principles that we talked about already. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Assignment follow up. And you and I have already talked about this, so I kind of know where you're at. But as far as the recorded call here, I had asked you to add affiliate links to your existing content, um, and then brainstorm 3 product ideas that you could sell to your niche, whether that's information, physical, or other products, email provider, and get an opt-in form on your website. So how did those go?
Good. I signed up with Amazon affiliates, and so I'm adding links to my contents, which is an ongoing process. I have to go back because I had a bunch of articles up, so now I have to go back and put in all the corresponding links.
Right.
So that's going well. Um, I brainstormed, I think, a whole bunch of product ideas. There's definitely, I think, a lot of possibilities in my niche, mainly for physical products,
Mm-hmm.
and potentially for information products. And I also thought of a service that I could potentially sell, but I'd have to do a little bit of research, as you mentioned, to see if it already exists. See if people want it. But there are definitely products I could sell.
Right.
Um, I signed up for MailChimp,
Yep.
straightforward, and I put an opt-in form on my website, which at the moment is kind of simple. And I'm hoping to kind of make it a little bit more complex in the future so I can better segment subscribers and then better cater to what information they're interested in.
Right. Awesome. No, so that's great. Very good job. And I'm able to see your website, and you are moving in the right direction. We're getting all these basic building blocks in place as far as, well, all of these, affiliate links, opt-in forms. You've got an email provider, that sort of thing. All these building blocks are in place. And now we're going to talk about sort of how do we actually get Google to notice us a little bit more and start hopefully getting some of those natural visitors to our website. Okay, so let's first answer the question, why links in the first place? All right, and so maybe I'll let you take a stab at it here, Samara. Why do you think we should be building links to our website? And you can cheat and look at this chart if you want.
Well, I'm not really sure how to read this chart, to be perfectly honest.
Well, um, let me explain the chart then. So this is from Moz, and people may be familiar with Moz, but they do a lot of SEO strategies and they provide SEO tools and that sort of thing. And they do an annual sort of survey or wrap up, if you will, of what are the strategies or what are the things that Google looks at to help rank websites. Okay, so you can see on the right, the sort of three biggest bars, right? These are the things that have the most influence in Google, and those three are domain level link features, page level link features, and then page level keyword and content based features. And so to interpret that, basically that means that the two top things that Google looks at to rank websites are links. Okay, links pointing to the domain, and then links pointing to the individual pages. And then the third thing is keywords, right? So the thing that we've spent a ton of our time. And as you look at this, I mean, keywords are very important. It's the third and fourth and fifth and sixth most important things to rank your website, right? So 4 out of the top 8 are keyword-based ranking factors. Okay, so why links? Well, according to Moz and the people that they've interviewed, the two most important things that you can do to help rank your website in Google are get links. Okay, so that's the big why.
Okay.
And there we go. Google ranks websites better that have high quality links. So types of links. Let's talk about the types of links. So we have do follow and no follow. Now, do you already understand the difference between those?
I see, because you say here it passes the page rank, so I assume do follow passes the page rank, right? So
Right.
you get the link juice. Is that how it would work?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And then no follow, I guess not. Okay.
Exactly. So both links really are valuable, but a do follow link is preferred. And honestly, my next note is here. I wouldn't worry about it too much. That's all I'm going to say about it. So when you're out getting links, I don't want you to stress about, oh, does this website provide a do follow link or a no follow link? It's just going to make your brain hurt. So don't worry about it. Okay. But I mention that just because some people do stress about it and will refuse a link if it's a no follow link. It still matters and is important. So it's not like it's bad. It's not a bad thing, okay? Then we also have what are called white hat, black hat, and gray hat links. And have you heard these phrases as well before?
I have, yeah.
Okay. So basically, white hat is meaning we're following all the rules and doing everything to the best of our ability to do what Google tells us. These are the types of links we're going to try and stick to as much as possible. And then there's black hat and gray hat. Black hat is where you purposely try to essentially go against Google's rules. And there's all sorts of tactics, right? Like inserting malicious code into other people's websites to try and hack websites so that you get a link to your own website, and doing all sort of these nefarious things to do whatever you can to push your website up in Google. We're going to steer way clear of anything like that, right? Gray hat is sometimes in the middle because it can be debatable what is white hat or gray hat. For example, Matt Cutts, he's sort of he was the head of spam for Google. And so he talks a lot about SEO and link building, and he works directly for Google. And, he recently came out and said that guest posting is not a sort of natural link building tactic, right? And so he said that's a no-no. You shouldn't go out and build links only doing guest posting. But on the other hand, if we listen to Perrin's coaching call, he's all about doing guest posting, right? That's that's how he says you should go out and be getting links. So there's sort of this argument, right? So, we've got parents saying that, hey, this is a good tactic, whereas Matt Cutts is saying, this is really more of a gray hat tactic. So it's very debatable. There's some tactics that are clearly, straight white hat. For example, if I write an article on nichepursuits.com and then 10 people that I've never even talked to write an article on their own website and reference my article on Niche Pursuits, I had no involvement whatsoever. That's a white hat link, right? But as soon as you start becoming involved in any way during the process, it could sometimes be construed as more gray hat. Anyways, I do want to mention this because some people are very sticklers for what's considered absolutely following Google's rules versus not following Google's rules. We're going to just do our best to stay as white hat as possible, and not do anything that's clearly against their terms of service.
Okay, that sounds like a good strategy.
All right. I do want to note that aggressive link building is not critical to a site's success here. I think too many people get caught in this trap that they feel like nothing is important on their website except for the link building that they do. That's the only thing that they should be doing and worrying about to get traffic to their website. Absolutely not. And there's lots of examples of people that do no link building whatsoever that do very well in Google. For example, I've never done any link building whatsoever for nichepursuits.com or longtailpro.com. Yet, both of these websites have thousands and thousands of links pointing to them, right? For the very reason that I just mentioned, right? I write really great content. I email my list, and 10 or 20 people of their own accord think it was a great article, and they mention it on their blog, right? Or mention me on their podcast. And I didn't tell them to talk about me or link to me. It's just they like my stuff and they talk about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense.
Does that bring up any questions or anything?
I assume for that to happen, you have to be around for a while. Right?
Yes and no. It becomes much easier when you've been around for a while, but you can do some simple outreach, right? So even though you're a nobody, within a week you can get to know a couple of bloggers, right? And maybe you only have 2 readers, but if they're a couple of bloggers, it might happen very quickly.
Okay.
Right? So I have done some simple outreach to people to truly build relationships with no intention to get a link, right? So very early on, I reached out to Pat Flynn and Chris Guthrie and the Empire Flippers, and not in a way that I was like, oh man, I hope someday I get a link, but it was like, hey man, I love your stuff. Is there anything I can do to help out? Right? No intention, like truly just building friends online. Okay. And that has, again, I've never asked any of those people for links, but all of them have linked to my website lots of times. Okay. So another person is Claire Smith, that is the most downloaded podcast I've ever recorded. She builds lots of niche websites. She truly only publishes content and does nothing else. She writes the article on very, very low competition keywords. She hits publish and does nothing else. She does no outreach. She doesn't go try to get links. But because she targets such amazing low competition keywords, she's built a 5-figure a month business doing just that. Okay, so I mention this because there's a whole spectrum here. And after we go through this call, you may be pulling your hair out like, holy crap, there's so many link building strategies I could be doing here. I don't want you to think that you absolutely have to do this all of the time. Okay?
Okay.
So here's my last thought. Let's use link building like salt for our steak. We just want to sprinkle a few links in on a monthly basis. Okay? Little salt shaker there. Just shake it in just a little bit. It's not a full-time job. It's not our main focus. We just want to salt our steak just a little bit every once in a while.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
All right. So, list of link building strategies. I'm going to just hit you all at once here. There's a ton, and I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I don't have anything amazing, anything unique or original that hasn't already been hashed out a bazillion times by people way smarter than me. Okay, so one of these guys is John Cooper over at pointblankseo.com. I'm going to click on this link and show you this page because I want you to reference this page. And basically, if you learn nothing else from this call, just learn that you can go to this page and get every single link building strategy known to humankind ever. Just go to this page. If you want to learn how to build links, go to this page and pick one that works. That's it.
Okay.
You know, I should probably just end the call right now. That's pretty much it. Okay.
Okay.
And as I scroll through this page, I mean, there's literally hundreds, and each one of these, right? You know, there's web app submissions, video submissions, theme template directories, non-English directories. There's CSS, HTML5 directories, blog directories, translating content, finding malware, blah, blah. You know, there's hundreds, so many different ways that you can get links to your website. And John Cooper has talked about every single one of them in detail. You can check boxes, right? For you only want to look at the high value links. You know, you can do that. You can sort and filter. Okay, so I wanted to show you this page, and everybody listening in should check that out. If you ever want a link building strategy, go to that page, and you'll have tons of light bulb moments. You'll go through there and go, I should do that this month.
Okay.
But to focus our attention, I picked out maybe 10 or 15 here, just of ones that maybe are places that we can start or should be long-term strategies, okay? At least generally speaking. So I'm going to just read through these. I'll let you and others read through these. All right, these are basically some that we're going to talk about first, you know, ranging from RSS feeds to doing outreach, to blog commenting, contests, infographics, becoming a contributor on, news websites and things, and then Haro, help a reporter out, all sorts of things, okay?
Okay.
So I just want to do that quickly because we're going to talk a little bit more in depth on some of the lower hanging fruit, the easier strategies. Okay, so this is where I want you to start. I'm going to give you, I think, 4, maybe 5 strategies of where you can start to get some very basic links relatively quickly, and is also going to set up your site to attract links a little bit easier.
Okay.
So the first of these is setting up an RSS feed. Do you know what an RSS feed is?
I guess not.
Okay. You sounded like you almost did there. But
No, you don't
Okay.
have to tell me.
Okay. So RSS stands for really simple syndication. Basically what it does is it takes all the articles that you've written on your site and sort of creates a feed in a really easy to share format. Is basically all that it does. All right. And so a lot of people maybe wonder, well, how do I set that up? Well, if you're using WordPress, you're already done. It's already set up for you. Okay. So for example, if you're using website, whatever your domain is, go to yourdomain.com/feed, and that is your RSS feed. So if I go to nichepursuits.com/feed, because I am using WordPress, I'll just show this page. This is my RSS feed. Everything I've published is on, this feed, right?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And this gets updated automatically every time I publish something new. I published something this morning, just a couple of hours ago, right here, our last coaching call, and it's already on there. I didn't do anything. WordPress handles it all for me. All right. So that doesn't actually provide any links to my website until I go out and submit this feed to a few RSS directories, okay? So this is what we're going to do. And basically I say here, use Google to find some RSS directories, and then your assignment is now submit your RSS feed to at least 5 directories. So let me show you how to do that just really quick, right? So if we do a Google search, I don't know, what do we think we could search for to find RSS directories? So, well, we could type in RSS directories, right? And there you go. RSS blog directories to submit your blog and feed. The second one, top 15 ranked RSS directories. Anyways, let's just click on the top one here. And here we go. Blog RSS list. I mean, we've got this huge list of things. And you basically just go over. Let's go to blog catalog. Why not? It's right here at the top. You'll probably have to create an account. But then you just go in here. And once you're in, you'll hit copy and paste on your feed, which is, in my case, nichepursuits.com/feed. I'll just copy and paste that, and all of a sudden, my RSS feed will be on blogcatalog.com with links pointing back to all my articles.
Okay. And then as you add more articles, it's all updated automatically.
Correct, because you've submitted your feed URL, and so they do that automatically. So what I would probably recommend is, because looking at this list, you don't know which ones are high quality and low quality. Although, let's see. I don't know if they curated this list, but maybe you do a Google search on like, I don't know, high authority or high quality. There we go. High quality RSS feed directories, right? So there's going to be some articles like here, free high PR RSS feed submission sites, right? So let's go in and try and find 5 of the highest quality ones to submit your RSS feed to. Does that make sense?
Yes. Now, when you submit your RSS feed, is it just automatically accepted, or is there like a revision process and they can reject you, or you're in?
You're pretty much in. It may depend on the site itself. Some of these may not accept everyone, but I think that most of them probably will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's just, I mean, these aren't going to be, for the most part, super high quality links, but it's not just for the link purpose here. You will get some links, and Google's going to find your stuff easier, but it's also going to help other people find your stuff easier, if that makes sense. So other people might notice your feed, and then you'll get real links when they write about you because they noticed your feed.
Okay.
Right? Okay, so next step here is set up social media accounts. And this is kind of for the same purpose. Yes, you're going to be able to get a real link from every single one of these places. When you set up a Facebook page, you're going to be able to link to your website on that profile. And that is a very real link from a very high quality domain pointing to your website. These are like no-brainer links, right?
Okay.
But in addition, we're going to try and do some things that make it easier for people to discover you, on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. And when they see your content, they're going to be more likely to link to you. So this is all part of a process of just making your website easier to find and link to, right? So social media accounts, I want you to go create a page for your website on all of these places: Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. And consider some other profile accounts like LinkedIn, Google+, and any others that you can think of that might make sense for your particular niche, okay?
Okay.
So that's about it. Your assignment, go get at least 4 social media profile pages set up and linked to your site.
Okay.
Any questions on that one?
No. Find ways to auto post all new posts.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
So that's the sort of the next thing I was going to mention. Oops, sorry. The next thing is combining RSS feed and these social media accounts. There is a way to link up basically your RSS feed and your social media accounts so that you never have to manually post anything to social media ever again if you don't want to, right? So as soon as you hit publish on your website, it will then go out to Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, or whatever, and automatically post there as well.
Okay. But that, I'm like under the impression that you should kind of switch up the content on your social media accounts.
Sure.
So, do you want to post the same exact thing to all of them or?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
So you want to do both, right? So this isn't really your social media strategy. This is
Okay.
just one way to get all of your content out the door quickly. So I do this exact thing,
Okay.
right? So on Twitter, as soon as I hit publish on my blog posts, it auto posts to Twitter. But you should also, and this is long term and only if you want to, me personally, I have no social media strategy whatsoever, right? It's made no difference in my life. Other people swear by it. If you want a real social media strategy, this isn't going to be the only posting that you do, right? So you would do your auto post, but then, yeah, if you want to go crazy, you're going to have another 4 or 5 original posts that you write every day on all these social media platforms, right?
Okay. Gotcha.
So you definitely, I would recommend auto posting because one, it gives you a link to your website on every single one of these places, and it's much easier for your audience to, read your content and hopefully eventually link to it.
Okay. That makes
And
sense.
so the assignment is to find a way to auto post all of your new stuff on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, etc. One of those places is feedsposter.com, but it's been so long since I've set up stuff and I have some custom things set up on my websites that I can't make a recommendation like this is the best one. I just use it as an example. Maybe there's some better options out there. So that's your assignment, is to maybe find other options if you don't like Feeds Poster.
Okay. A question about Pinterest. Do I need to add pin it buttons to all the images on my website too? Yeah.
Um,
Sir.
we may get into Pinterest because there's another tool that's really kind of cool that we're testing out in our business for Pinterest,
Okay.
to sort of grow a Pinterest following and drive traffic on Pinterest, that I think I want to save for another call completely.
Okay.
But certainly there are plugins that you could, yes, just install that would have a pin it button for your images. You're more than welcome to do that.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so another strategy beyond social media is just to ask people that you know to link to your website. Okay, so you could just go out, ask family and friends or any online acquaintances if they will mention your website on their website. Just as easy as that, right? Just go, hey, I know you have a blog. Would you mind mentioning my new website? And
Okay.
if they want you to write an article for them, sure, go for it. But if they're your friends, a lot of times they'll just mention you without you needing to do anything. Okay, so your assignment is to find one person that you know that will link to you.
Okay. That's gonna be fun. All right.
Do you think that's doable?
Yeah, I'll find a way. I don't know a lot of people that have blogs or that I could ask, but I will find someone. Not to worry.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good. I believe in you.
Thanks.
Yep, you got this. I,
Uh,
I mean we could beat this one to death, and right, I could talk about all sorts of strategies how to approach people, but you know what? You're smart and you have friends. Go make it happen.
all right. Done.
Okay,
Consider done.
cool.
Okay.
I think everybody listening can do the same thing. There's no magic strategy here. Just do the work. Go out, reach out, contact people, send emails, Facebook message, whatever. Make it
Okay.
happen.
Okay.
Okay, blog commenting. Again, this is usually lower value in some cases, but it really is a good way to get some links and start relationships. Okay, so I would keep the amount of blog commenting fairly low. Like, don't go out and comment on 100 blogs in the next week. um, and try to keep them relevant. So within your niche, if at all possible, right? So if your website's on camping gear, try to stick with the camping, survival, hiking, sort of genre. So basically, yeah, it's as simple as that. I mean, any questions on how blog commenting works for links?
Well, how do I leave my link in a comment? Is it attached to my name, or how does that work? Do I like leave it in the comment,
Yes.
like literally, or how do I?
No.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you. Here, it's just
Okay.
pulling up. So, um, of course, my website's, I was going to show you on nichepursuits.com, just an example. Here we go. Okay, so let's scroll down to the comments section. So all of these, right, are links, right? So Brian left a comment. He doesn't have anything in the comment itself, and you don't want to have a link, but his name is a link. BrianKnapp.me. He's got a link pointing to his website from nichepursuits.com,
Okay.
right? So that's it.
Okay.
Basically, the way it goes, if you go down to the form, if I'm not logged in, yeah, there you go. Leave a reply. So it'll be something like this. You put your name, so you'll put Samara or whatever you want to put your email, and then here's where you put your link. And make sure you do it in the format of http www.nichepursuits.com, right?
Okay.
And then you leave your comment. It's totally legit. You know, webmasters don't mind it. I don't mind it, right?
Okay.
Everybody's leaving links here. Make sense?
Okay. Yep. Absolutely.
Um, so there's some ways to find out which websites leave a do follow link, right? So there's something called a comment love plugin that any websites that have this plugin means that when you leave a comment, it actually is a do follow link that carries link juice, right? So my website, all the links are no follow, right? All the comment links.
Okay.
Right, so Brian, in our example, didn't get a do follow link, but he did get a link. But if you search for comment love, and maybe let's do this. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Comment. And I'll share my screen here in a second. Let's see, maybe I didn't do that right. Maybe I need to... Well, here we go. Comment love blogs. There's a lot of different things that you can do, right? But here's a massive list of 1,000 do follow, comment love blogs, right? So,
Okay.
anyways, this is kind of a rabbit hole here. I can see this can take me to another page that has 40, right? So, here, you know, we go over, actually, I know the person that runs this blog. So, you know, if we come over here and, you know, leave a comment, this is going to give us a link to our website, right?
I
There
do
you,
follow.
a do follow link because they've got the comment love.
So that's what I'm looking for, like a button like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And man, I wish I was better here on the fly. Let's see. So yeah, you might just have to do some unique searching, right, on Google. So something like comment love plus. Most of them leave, you know, like leave a reply. There's a footprint, right? So let's do that. Leave a reply. So this will pull back only results that have both the terms comment love and the terms leave a reply on their website, right? And so you'll start getting a bunch of blogs. And then you could go a step further and do something like camping, right? Now that's going to narrow it down to my niche, right? So it looks like I've found some, right? So let's click on this one, beginning camping trips. Hopefully it's a comment love blog that allows me to leave a comment. Let's scroll down to the bottom. Where did it go? Let's see. Did I miss it? Here we go. Oh,
Oh, there you go.
there we
Yep.
go.
Totally.
Perfect. Right. So with within a couple of seconds there, we found a place we can get a do follow link from a website within our niche. Okay.
Okay. Yep. Interesting. Okay.
So that's going to drastic, and there's lots of other footprints. And again, we could dive into all sorts of strategies, but like I said, I don't want you to go out and do like 100 links. I want you to do at least 5 this week, right, within your niche. So that should get you there.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. All right.
Comment, love, plus leave a reply, and then
That's the niche.
the niche. Yep.
Right. Okay.
Cool. And so, and sort of, caveats here is that it's a better link if there's less comments, right? So if there's 10,000 other people that have already commented, the link probably doesn't carry a ton of weight. But if there's only 1 or 2 other people that have commented, that's a much better link.
Okay.
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 So just be on the lookout for that. To be honest, all of these strategies could be all that you do for your website. There are people that have done nothing but blog commenting and have done very well with their websites. There are people that have done nothing but social media and have done very well, right? So we're going to kind of sprinkle in a variety here, though. So there's your assignment. Find 5 blogs and comment with a link to your website. Cool?
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. And then the thing that I'm going to leave with you is I want you to research more advanced tactics, because there are a ton of more advanced tactics out there. All right. And so we probably will do an additional call to review some of these more advanced strategies for link building that are out there. Like I said in the beginning, most of these tactics have already been explained really, really well by other people in blog posts that can be found with a simple Google search, right? So your assignment here is to review John Cooper's list again and decide on 2 or 3 more advanced strategies that you would like to try in the future. And so let me walk through that research process for you, although I'm sure you've got it already, right? But let's look at some link attraction strategies, right? Well, here's even one. Ask people for a link. I guess that's one we already talked about. But badges, maybe that sounds interesting. So you read about, okay, what's this all about? He's got a short description. Yes. Did I lose you? I think I lost Samara for a second. Okay, yep, no problem. We're back. So I just lost you there for a second. So you probably can't see my screen anymore, though, right? Can you see my screen?
Nope.
Okay, hold on just a second.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So you can see the screen now.
Okay.
So yeah, just say you saw, badges, and you see this on the list, and you're like, oh, what is that all about? Of course, you can read this here, but then you could also do some, Google searches about how to create badges and how to use badges as a link building strategy, right? And there's going to be people like Brian Dean of backlinko.com and other people that have written huge tutorial blog posts. If you decide you want to do outreach, right, there's massive resources out there. I don't think it's worth us spending time on the call to try and recreate the wheel. Basically, if you want to do outreach, go over to Brian Dean and read his big outreach tutorial and follow it step by step.
Okay.
Right. So maybe that's my easy way out. But honestly, I mean, these people have spent, years already sort of perfecting different strategies. And, like broken link building, is another one that you can really dive deep and get some high quality links, right? Maybe that's one you want to research and just do some Googling on to figure out how to do that.
Okay.
So
I assume everything in this list is white hat?
Yes, for the most part,
Okay.
it is, and anything that's not or is lower quality, he calls that out, right?
Okay.
He says, now this is a low quality link, so you want to be aware, and it does say that, right? So it says, link value. It's it has a time. It takes 1 to 2 weeks, dependencies, and the link value is high. for
Okay.
Better Business Bureau in that case. So there's others that are, of course, low, right? So if it's a low link value, you want to take aware of that, be aware of that.
Okay.
But yes, he doesn't have any black hat link building strategies as far as spamming and trying to insert malicious code on other people's websites. So yes,
Okay.
these are definitely white / some maybe a little gray hat strategies.
Okay.
Okay, bonus assignment is to actually read some blog posts on the 2 or 3 tactics that you decide on. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. Cool. So that's pretty much it. We're gonna wrap up. Just want to review your assignments for the call. So first, you're going to submit your RSS feed to at least 5 directories, and please focus on the higher quality directories there.
Okay.
Number 2, find ways to auto post all your new posts to Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, etc. If you have any others, and Feeds Poster may be a great place to start. Find one person at least that that will link to you. I know you're super excited about that one.
Okay.
And then number 4, find 5 blogs and comment with a link to your website. And I think we found a way that'll make that pretty quick and easy.
Yeah.
And I should mention that leave a real comment. Actually read the article. Don't just say, thanks. Write, a paragraph, write 4 or 5 sentences at least and say something of value, right? We're not trying to make the web a worse place by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
Okay, number 5, review John Cooper's list that I've got there and decide on 2 or 3 more advanced strategies that you would like to try in the future. And your bonus assignment is to actually go out and read some blog posts on the 2 or 3 tactics that you decide on. So that's pretty much it. I mean, that's our really basic link building strategies that we're going to use to use our salt shaker to just sprinkle in some links here on a monthly basis.
Okay. That sounds like a good start.
Okay, questions right now. I don't know if I hit you with too much or too little.
There's a lot of information here. I don't have any more questions at the moment, but I assume that they will all start pouring in as I begin.
Yeah,
I've never done anything like this, so this is the first time. So I imagine I'll have some questions along the way.
right. Yeah, and I'm sure you will. And like always, feel free to shoot me an email or chat, and we'll get those questions answered for you. But hopefully, this call provides a good outline strategy for some basic link building. And especially for people listening in that maybe can't reach out to me individually. Hopefully they can watch this call and rewatch it to at least get the wheels turning here and get some of those initial links built to their website. But that's about it. I mean, there's so much more that we could talk about as far as link building is concerned, and we will have a more advanced strategies call. We'll start talking about actually doing outreach campaigns and building more linkable assets and doing some of those things that kind of attract more links, because that is going to be important for the long-term sort of growth of your website, I think. But this is going to get the ball rolling, and hopefully with this combined with your awesome keyword research and content, we're going to start seeing some traffic.
Okay. That sounds great. Yeah, this seems like a good way to kind of ease into the whole link building world.
Yep.
So this is perfect.
I agree. And like I said, I mean, I do want to stress that people are at both extremes here. You can go either way. Some people make it their life to build links, and they're very successful. Other people don't do any link building, and they're very successful, right? So you can be anywhere on the spectrum and still do just fine with websites. I think this strategy of just sort of sprinkling in these links just a little bit, not making it the overwhelming priority of our entire business here, is the way to go from my perspective. So hopefully you're cool with that.
Yes, I'm cool with whatever you say, Spencer.
Thank you. I
All right.
appreciate it. Awesome. So, yeah, that's it. I appreciate your time very much.
Thank you, Spencer. I guess I'll talk to you later.
Okay, we'll see you. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.